So I've been trying or want to get back into Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm 34. I remember when the cards came out, and everything back then, right? And I would, try to get, what I could, and it would usually be the Legend of the Blue Eyes pack or the green one, and you would just get a lot of the same cards. You would get a lot of the same cards, and unfortunately, in my town now, there's not many places left that sell Yu-Gi-Oh. None at all. Like my Walmart, they just started putting back out some Yu-Gi-Oh stuff or what have you. But back in the day, you used to be able to find Yu-Gi-Oh dollar store, Big Lots, Walmart, Kmart, gas stations, if you will. And these days, like a lot of good places these days are pretty much um are gone except for like a local GameStop. Not local GameStop. GameStop don't even sell Yu-Gi-Oh no more. But they're called Game Exchange. And they're like cheap, they're like 25 cents to like $1 a card, right? And I'm not trying to get back into really playing the game because so many things with that from what I've been learning and listening to have actually changed. But these days, I want to get really back into collecting and some of the box stuff, like they got some like other anime style cards of Yu-Gi-Oh that I want to get. They got some of these really good collector 25th anniversary ones that's been out now for about like a year, 2 years now that I've been looking at online that I want to actually buy and get. It's just I ain't got the money right now. I ain't got the money. And a lot of these cards, you know, you could say lost their value because they went down because now they're so easy to find. You just buy them offline for, whatever, type of price. For example, like the actual playing cards like Dark Magician back in the day. Um I remember the first Yu-Gi-Oh starter deck that had Dark Magician. I wish Konami would have re-released the Yu-Gi-Oh starter deck, Yugi starter deck and Sento Kaiba starter deck for like an anniversary thing. That would have been really cool. Um, and you even had like the tin. I remember even having the tin because I remember getting this one, and I love this Dark Magician card. Back then it wasn't the easiest to get. Nowadays, it's so damn easy to get, right? Because you're not really paying a lot of money, depending on what you're really, wanting to spend or looking at, but you're not really paying that much money. Um, some of these right here, from what you guys are seeing, like Trap Hole and Guy the Fierce Knight, when it came to the blue packs back in the day, used to get a lot of these, like duplicates after duplicates after duplicates. These right here were a lot harder to find though back then. I used to have a lot of these right here, back then as well. Um, I've been buying a few of the box stuff, um, or what have you, with like the retro packs at Walmart. Not they're pretty much sold out. They're like really cheap, like $21, $22 in total. I remember how hard this was to find the Swords of Revealing Light. I used to have a lot of those. I used to have quite a few of those, a lot of those. Um, I used to have a lot of Curse of Dragon. Flame Swordsman was a very hard card to find. I remember actually getting one back in the day, the holographic version, but and I wish I still had it because you see how the image is facing this way. The one I had was facing the opposite direction. I used to have a lot of them. This one was really hard to find back then. Now it's, easy. You take a look at like the Tomb Monsters. I'm not a fan of the Tomb Monsters, but I am glad I have a few. Um, or you take a look at a Giant Soldier of Stone. I used to have a lot of him. Back then. Baby Dragon was a hard one to find back in the day. Now it's all over the place. Um, I'm not familiar with these ones though. Well, this one I'm familiar with. I used to have quite a few of him back then. You know. Um, Another card I used to have a lot was this one right here. I'm not good at pronouncing names of these cards, so I'm not going to try. A lot of that, which was very fun to play, and of course, back then you didn't really know the rules. To me, this is more like a normal summon. Back then. Um, I've been kind of playing by myself with these lately when I buy the retro packs and trying to relearn, trying to reteach myself, and some of these lower cards really fun to sacrifice. And even reading some of the special effects and combining them with some of the magic or trap cards and being able to summon like a 4-star monster and being able to pull like a high card, right? Um, that right there was a hard one to find back in the day. Um, Let me see. Some of these are like this. I know this is Duke, but I'm not kind of familiar with it. But you have to have like the dragon for that, and I actually have the pack for that at Walmart. But the thing is I don't want to say pack was like a starter deck sort of deal, but I don't know if you're gonna get the actual Rainbow Dragon. I'm not familiar with that card. Um, Escapegoat, very hard card to find back in the day. Nowadays, it's all over the place. Um, Kind of just like really looking like I know like I'm not too familiar with some stuff like with these cards. I don't understand what this is or why it looks like that. I'm not familiar with it. Um, I know these are ritual cards. Ritual cards back then were super hard to find. I had one, but I forget which one it was, but I had one. 1,000 Dragon. I think I had one before. I think. Can't remember. I used to have a lot of that back then, but that card came in handy and saved my ass on multiple occasions. But I used to play. Um, Again, just some duplicates. Like some of these two monsters, like right here, Heartbeats Lady and Cyber Heartbeat Lady. Um, Not the easiest cards to find back then. These days they are. And no, one thing I would say this: if Konami, I wish they would put out an official My Valentine deck, starter deck with her cards, because she doesn't get a lot of love. Either does Rebecca Hawkins. Those two decks right there, I really enjoy. I feel like they need the shine. But, like all good things, they usually go to shit. I know one thing that's kind of like in these news cards, these like black looking cards. I'm not familiar with them. Or how would you summon it? How would you play it? I don't know. I just don't know. Again, these days, I don't play it. I just rather collect, right? And that's what I want to do. Get back in collecting. Yesterday, I bought the last retro pack, the gold looking one with the Yugi and stuff on it, and I pulled a lot of these right here within that box, and I was like, oh hell yeah, Same thing with like those. Again, I used to have a lot of those, and as I was playing, trying to understand, trying to learn how things are these days with like the new rules and the cards, I was able to pull this one and play it when I was doing this by myself. Hey, it is what it is, right? Again, I know there's people out there that still play this that can probably tell me more about this, but these days, man, look, I'm in my mid 30s. These days, I'm into more of collecting now, and that's what it's about for me. One of the cards that were all over the place back in the day, even now, was this one. I understand a lot of people love it. Personally, myself, I hate it. I always threw this card in the graveyard. And if I was to go back and play, it'd be the same thing. It's just not my favorite card at all, at all. And a lot of these cards I'm not familiar with. I guess you could say I'm one of those that I'm more of the OG fan series, which I am. I kind of watch Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. Didn't really pay all that attention to it. The only reason why I liked Yu-Gi-Oh! GX for what it was because one of the characters, his name was Chaz, and he has my name. That was the only reason why. Yeah. Except his name at the end is spelled with two Z's. Mine has one. And then we have this guy right here. I used to have a lot of him. I used to have a lot of this one right here. Always used to play it. The only one that was hard to find was his counterpart, unfortunately. His unfortunately. Another, I used to have quite a few of him. Some other cards I don't understand. Like I don't know what these are. Like Link. I don't know what that is. I don't understand what these are. If anybody that can tell me, that would be great. Master Controller. Very hard card to get a hold of back in the day. Very hard card to get a hold of. Hold on. Okay. I just need to check my notifications. Mom's out. Mom went to the pharmacy, and I know it's cold, and it was supposed to be snowing. I don't really like her by herself out there. But that card hard to find back then. Again, more of these blue cards. I don't understand what they are. Maybe it's not meant for me. I don't know to understand. Swords of Revealing Light. I'm glad I have that. Heartbeats Feather Duster. It was hard to find back in the day. These days, all over the place. Mirror Force. Mirror Force. I knew some people had a lot of it, but back then it was kind of like, it either was hard to find or it wasn't. I guess it kind of depends. One of the cards I used to have a lot of was Spellbinding Circle back then. And I bought a new starter deck today, which was the Scyther the Sky Dragon one. Which was with that deck, it is kind of easy to summon that one. A Monster Reborn. Everybody had a lot of Monster Reborn. I love that card though. I still love it till this day. And back then it was easy to play these zombie type cards, and that's what this labeled. These days, I guess they're not. I don't understand why. I don't know. But yeah. They have like the Blue Eyes one, but it's kind of like you're feeling like it's kind of like you're cheated a little bit out of that starter one that they had, because it's like you get like one Blue Eyes rather than three or what have you. I bought some common cards that should be here tomorrow, like 3 Dark Magicians, girls, Dark Magician, 2 different kinds. Exodia, Blue Flaming Swordsman, Flame Swordsman, 3 Monster Reborns. A couple other cards I'll definitely show eventually if I think about it. I remember I bought these ones all separate though. All separate. And I don't know if they're back here or not. Oh yeah, they are back here. So here's this one right here I have. Exodia Necropolis. Obelisk the Tormentor. And we got the Wind Dragon of Ra and Scyther the Sky Dragon. So that's pretty much like my Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I am trying to get back into card collecting. I do have some Dragon Ball cards. I don't know why these are starting to come out, but they are. I don't like that. But yeah, that's about it for my Yu-Gi-Oh cards right there.